Section 1. In this section, you will hear a conversation between a holiday booking agent, Mark, and a customer, David Oakley, who's inquiring about renting a seaside cottage. But first, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10.
Good morning, Seaside Cottage Rentals. Mark speaking. How can I help you today?
Hi, good morning. I'm looking to book a cottage for an upcoming family holiday, and I was hoping you could give me some details on what's available.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to help. May I have your full name first, please?
Yes, it's David Oakley. That's Oakley.
And do you have a particular location in mind along the coast?
Well, last year we stayed near the cliffs, but this time we'd really prefer a property near the harbor so the kids can watch the boats coming in.
Got it. Harbor location. And what dates are you planning to arrive?
We are aiming for the 14th of July.
Okay, let me check our availability for mid-July. Yes, we have a few options starting on that date. How long were you planning to stay?
We're looking for a 1-week stay, so exactly 7 nights.
Perfect. I have a fantastic property available right on that date called the Willow Cottage. It's extremely popular with families.
Sounds charming. How many bedrooms does it have? There are 4 of us.
It has 3 bedrooms, a master suite, a twin room, and a smaller single room, so plenty of space for 4 people.
That's great. What about amenities? Is Wi-Fi included?
Yes, free Wi-Fi is provided throughout the cottage, and it also features a fully enclosed private garden, which is great if you want to eat meals outside.
Excellent. Is it close to local shops?
Yes, it's quite convenient. The nearest supermarket is only 2 kilometers down the road.
That's very convenient. What would be the total price for the 7 nights?
For that peak summer week, the total cost comes to £550.
That fits our budget nicely. How do I secure the booking?
To confirm the reservation, you just need to pay a deposit required of £100 today, and the remaining balance can be paid 2 weeks before your arrival.
This was the end of Section 1. Now you have some time to check your answers. Now turn to Section 2. In this part, you will hear a monologue by a park ranger giving an introductory talk to visitors about the facilities and guidelines at Green Valley Nature Park.
Welcome, everyone, to Green Valley Nature Park. My name is Arthur, and I'm one of the head rangers here. Before you set off to explore today, I'd like to share some key information about our park facilities and seasonal activities. First off, regarding our operating hours. While our gates open at 7:30 a.m. on weekdays for early morning runners, please keep in mind that on weekends the main entrance opens strictly at 8 a.m., and all vehicles must clear the main parking lots by sunset at 7 p.m. If you brought a packed lunch, we have several dedicated outdoor spots. While there are a few benches next to the main lake and behind the cafe, our primary designated picnic area with large tables and trash recycling units is situated right beside the playground. It's an ideal spot for families to relax while the children play. Now, regarding our recreational activities, while walking paths, bird watching, and cycling tours are open to all turn-up visitors, equipment for water sports is strictly limited. Specifically, taking part in kayaking requires an advance online booking through our website at least 24 hours prior to your visit. I also encourage everyone to visit our newly renovated visitor center near the North Gate. Last year, we had an exhibition on wildlife photography, but our current interactive exhibit features a comprehensive display focusing on local geology, detailing how these limestone valleys were formed over millions of years. As for parking fees, brief stays under 2 hours cost £3, but if you intend to stay for the whole day, the standard daily rate for parking is £5. All funds go directly toward environmental conservation. Before you set off, please remember a few essential safety rules. Dogs are welcome in the lower fields, but for the protection of nesting wildlife, dogs must be kept on a leash at all times. There are several trails marked by color. The valley path is flat and easy, but our most popular scenic walking route is definitely the ridge path, which offers panoramic views of the entire county. If you get hungry later on, cold drinks and homemade refreshments can be purchased at the historic pavilion located at the center of the park grounds. Entry to the visitor center is £4, but a special entry discount is available to students who show a valid ID card at the front desk. Finally, don't forget our photo contest. Submissions for our annual photography competition will officially close in October, so make sure to upload your photos before then.
This was the end of the part 2. Now you have time to check your answers. Now, Section 3, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25, and you will hear a discussion between two university engineering students, Marcus and Elena, and their academic supervisor, Dr. Robert, as they review their group research project on renewable energy.
Come in, Marcus, Elena. Take a seat. Let's discuss your progress on the final project for the renewable energy module. Where are you currently focusing your analysis?
Well, Dr. Robert, initially we considered looking into solar panel efficiency or wind turbine farm layouts. However, we realized those areas are already heavily researched. We decided to focus our main project on wave power instead, as marine energy systems are far less frequently studied in academic literature.
Right. But as we dug deeper into wave generators, we found major financial hurdles. Elena's background research showed that while operational costs are reasonable, the initial installation cost remains extremely high, primarily due to the specialized materials required to resist saltwater corrosion and withstand intense ocean pressures underwater.
That's a valid point. Did you find a case study to anchor your numerical models?
Yes. I managed to obtain operational data from a coastal trial site located off the north coast of Scotland. It gave us real-world performance metrics across different sea states.
Excellent. Now, how are you organizing the final delivery of your findings?
We have almost finished the draft report. But Dr. Robert, do you think we should include complex mathematical derivations in the main text?
My advice would be to put the dense calculations in the appendix and instead include a clear visual comparison chart in your presentation slides. That will keep your main technical points clear and accessible to the panel.
Understood. We'll adjust the slides tonight. When do you need the draft?
You can submit your draft by Friday afternoon. I'll review it over the weekend and give you final feedback on Monday.
That gives us 2 days. That works for us. Could we also briefly review our evaluation of the 5 sub-technologies we analyzed?
Sure. Let's run through them quickly. What was your conclusion on government subsidies for tidal schemes?
Well, when we looked at the data for tidal stream funding, the output generated actually surpassed initial expectations by nearly 15% over 3 years.
Interesting. And what about public acceptance of offshore wind turbines?
The general sentiment seems positive, but we felt that the claim that public opposition has vanished requires further statistical proof before we can state it as a fact.
Regarding battery storage technology improvements, we both agreed that developing high-capacity energy storage is essential for practical implementation of any intermittent renewable network.
What about micro-hydroelectric generators for urban rivers?
We started modeling those, but calculating turbulence factors in small channels turned out to be too complex for current scope of our undergraduate project, so we scaled that part back.
And lastly, regarding community-led solar initiatives, our research showed they are highly effective in urban areas, especially where roof space can be pooled among local neighborhoods.
Excellent analysis. Both of you, get that draft to me by Friday.
This was the end of the Section 3. Now you have half a minute to check your answers. Now, Section 4. In this section, you will hear a university lecture given by a professor of urban planning on the evolution of 20th century urban architecture. But before that, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
Good afternoon, students. Today, we are exploring the dramatic evolution of 20th century urban architecture, a century marked by industrial rapid advancement, demographic shifts, and evolving ecological awareness. At the turn of the 20th century, structural engineering underwent a revolutionary transformation. The development of high-strength steel frame construction made it possible for buildings to rise far higher than traditional masonry ever permitted. However, structural strength was only part of the equation. Architects quickly realized that structural steel allowed for large wall openings, and glass rapidly emerged as the primary material for building facades. This allowed unprecedented amounts of natural light to penetrate deep into interior office floors. Alongside structural changes, early city planners placed immense emphasis on urban organization, prioritizing the efficiency of transportation routes above all else to ensure that workers could move seamlessly between industrial zones and residential districts. By the mid-20th century, the architectural philosophy known as modernism dominated global construction. Rejecting the ornate, decorative styles of the 19th century, modernists operated under the famous principle that form follows function. Consequently, modern skyscrapers were built with minimal decoration, focusing purely on clean lines and geometric symmetry. Material choices also shifted. Reinforced concrete became the defining material of the post-war era, prized by developers not only for its low overall cost, but also for its structural flexibility, which allowed engineers to mold bold, curved, and dramatic geometric forms. Meanwhile, urban geographic boundaries expanded exponentially. The rapid growth of sprawling suburban residential areas was driven directly by the widespread ownership of the automobile, which fundamentally altered how cities designed their road networks and parking infrastructure. As we moved into the late 20th century, the consequences of uncontrolled urban expansion became painfully clear. High energy consumption, urban heat islands, and environmental degradation. This prompted a major shift toward ecological urbanism. To combat urban heat and enhance biodiversity within concrete landscapes, modern architects began integrating green spaces directly onto rooftop structures and exterior balconies. Furthermore, environmental engineering altered interior systems. Building ventilation systems were fundamentally redesigned to reduce overall energy consumption by utilizing natural airflow and smart thermal regulation rather than relying solely on high-powered air conditioning. Construction waste management also became standard practice. The integration of recycled building materials helped developers dramatically minimize overall project waste during structural demolitions and rebuilds. On the ground level, town planners reversed mid-century car-centric designs. Contemporary urban planning strongly prioritizes pedestrian safety through widened walkways, car-free zones, and elevated footbridges over vehicular access. Ultimately, 21st century architects build upon these late 20th century foundations with one single guiding objective: ensuring long-term sustainability across all environmental, economic, and social urban dimensions.
This was the end of the section 4. Now you have half a minute to check your answers.